Welcome. For the next 10 minutes or so as the music plays, we invite you to just relax, close your eyes, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Om Ekadantaya Vidmahi Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Om Akratundaya Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvigyam Kuru Me Deva Sara Karyeshu Sarvada. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gananata Daya Niti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Daya Niti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Suklam Bharadaram Vishnu Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarvavignyopashantaye. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananata Daya Niti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Daya Niti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha.
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang, being a Sanskrit word, literally means community of truth. For our purposes, it means a spiritual community where two or more people who are on the path of awakening, the flowering of the heart into oneness with the divine, come together to share our journeys, to share our presence, to share our puzzling over obstacles we may face, and help one another. Spiritual community is such an essential ingredient on the path of the transformation of consciousness. So we're glad you're here with us. It's one of the beautiful ways we have learned to use the internet. That said, please seek out a local community where you can join in person with others who are awakening and transforming, and preferably who share blessing, a direct transmission of awakened consciousness that catalyzes and smooths the journey. There are quite a few different kinds of such transmissions. We share something called the Flowering Heart Blessing. If you'd like to learn more about it, go to our website, floweringheart.org. There's a 36-minute initiation video. You can just gather one or two friends and just hit play on your computer on our website, or you can download it to your computer, feel free. 36 minutes later, you have a ready community ready to share the blessing. The Flowering Heart Blessing is a direct transmission of divine presence, of light, grace, unconditional love that catalyzes the flowering of the heart. And by that, we're pointing to the divine who dwells within you, the fullness of the Godhead. The entire universe is resident within you, at the center of your being. And when it's awakened, it begins to flower and unfold. And you don't have to wait to watch that video, because the divine showed us when we were given this blessing more than 10 years ago now, that when you receive one of the Flowering Heart Blessings, you are fully activated and initiated to be able to pass it on. So if you're listening to this video webcast satsang, please join us right now. Invite the divine to pour the Flowering Heart Blessing through you. And the divine will do it. You don't need to know what you're doing. It's nothing special that you need to know. Just offer yourself to the divine and invite the divine. Hold the intention that the Flowering Heart Blessing will flood everyone who watches this video now or at any time in the future. And as that blessing passes through you to them, the divine will be working on you. So it's sort of like a double treasure. We live at a time when it's so important that humanity shift from this collective insanity of competition, conflict, and war to a new earth rooted in cooperation, harmony, and peace. In order for that to happen, the entire collective consciousness, which has been leaning toward darkness and violence for so long, needs to shift the other way. The human heart as a collective needs to begin to flower and open to unconditional love. That will happen when enough of us individually have awakened and our hearts have begun to flower. So we're so glad that you've consented to the journey. You have a big part to play. Everyone's important. And eventually, when enough people have begun to flower, the scale will shift and the world will shift with it. But here we are tonight. I don't think we have any announcements really. Yesterday's service, we had our monthly interfaith communion with the cosmic, oh, those are the trees. That's the wind. I was hearing this scratching and stuff going on. And here, even in Florida, we're not going through the rough storm that so much of the country is, but we have, it's going down into the 30s here and tonight, and and we've got a lot of wind. So that's why I was a little distracted. What is going on? But that monthly interfaith communion with the Cosmic Christ stays up on Facebook, on Vimeo, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, wherever you're tuned in to us. And the teaching, the focus of the meditation was the power of resistance, which struck a few people as a surprising note, because we're always talking about non-resistance, just let go, yield, that all psychological suffering is the result of resisting feeling something in the present moment. So don't resist feelings, just let it flow through you. And while that's true, we don't want to yield to every impulse that arises within us as we're growing and being perfected. Sometimes we might feel like venting our anger at someone. That would be better to just resist long enough for the feeling to pass. And to do inappropriate things. So there's a balance between letting go and going with the flow and resistance. And when it's done on a mass level, as Gandhi did in India with his satyagraha, often called passive resistance, it changed India forever. It was the beginning of doing away with the caste system. It stopped nationwide violence in India between the Hindu and the Muslim population. And there was so much to learn about how we can deal with what's going on in society, in the world today, with passive resistance that's completely nonviolent and yet very powerful. So, encourage you to listen to that. The recording's up right there. But wait till after we're done tonight. And I think that's the only announcement I had. So we like to open it at this point to questions and answers on the spiritual journey. Something, area of spirituality where you'd like more clarity, more understanding. I think we all have those kinds of questions come up. It will help everyone. It moves the divine to pour inspiration through me and Suzanne to share with the satsang. And it helps everyone because even though our journeys are all different, they parallel one another in significant ways. And the questions that arise and the obstacles that we face, we all seem to share the same ones sooner or later along the way. So while you're thinking about how you can contribute to the satsang tonight by asking a question, listen to the still small voice inside of you, and while you're doing that, I'm going to share 10 quotes on finding your purpose, a question that comes up a lot, I think, for people. I take these little articles and lists of quotes from inspiringquotes.com, a website where a group of authors share timely, brief articles, just a couple paragraphs long, and then a list of quotes from illuminated people throughout history that shed light on whatever subject. So tonight, it's about finding your purpose in life. The author is Bennett Kleinman, who's a staff writer at Inbox Studios, as well as a freelance comedy writer. He's based in New York City. So thank you, Bennett. And here's what he has to say about finding our purpose in life. The meaning of life is a question that has plagued philosophers for millennia. And in truth, there's no universally applicable answer. Instead, it can be easier to ponder the question on an individual level. And finding our purpose doesn't necessarily mean changing the world. Sometimes a person's most profound impact exists in a much smaller scale. Whether it's by caring for family, thriving professionally, or dedicating our lives to the betterment of others, we can all walk a path that leaves us feeling fulfilled. If we start to feel lost, it can help to return to our unique strengths and passions, and then put them to use. As the one and only Dolly Parton put it, find out who you are and do it on purpose. In the end, what matters is not the breadth of our accomplishments, but how content we feel with each passing day. In support of that belief, here are 10 enlightening quotes about finding purpose in life. So let's dive in. The path to our destination is not always a straight one. We go down the wrong road, we get lost, we turn back. Maybe it doesn't matter which road we embark on. Maybe what matters is that we embark. Barbara Hall, TV writer and producer. There's no greater gift you can give or receive than to honor your calling. It's why you were born and how you become most truly alive. Oprah Winfrey. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Howard Thurman, author, philosopher, and civil rights leader. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Ralph Waldo Emerson. More men fail through lack of purpose than lack of talent. Billy Sunday, evangelist. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams, according to your vision and purpose, instead of the expectations and opinions of others. Roy T. Bennett, motivational author. The purpose of life is to discover your gift. The work of life is to develop it. The meaning of life is to give your gift away. David Viscott, psychiatrist. The purpose of life for man is growth, just as the purpose of life for trees and plants is growth. Wallace T. Wattles, motivational author. The meaning of life is to find your gift. To find your gift is happiness. Terry Pratchett, fantasy author. Sometimes it's only after you have lived that you recognize your life had a purpose, and likely one you never had in mind. Khalid Hosseini, novelist. Khalid Hosseini, novelist. Well, thank you, Bennett. I read another quote today. I don't remember who it came from, and it was a question. Do you think you're finished? You think you're done with this life? If you're still alive, you haven't. Boy, that's simple. What the world needs is for us to be ourselves, truly, authentically, and fully. Not what our parents or our neighbors or our friends or society is saying, what we truly are in our hearts. To truly be that through and through. I was hoping that was enough time for someone to come up with a question.
It's hard to listen and write at the same time.
Well, I'll give you a few more minutes. I'll check another website. Okay. Okay, Danielle. I'm struggling. Well, aren't we all? That is part of life. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be smug. I'm struggling to cope with recent world events and hearing about so much violence. It seems to have become increasingly more intense, and I'm sad to say sometimes my faith in humanity feels lost. I'm here to continue to show up and help any way that I can, but sometimes I feel so heartbroken for this world. Well, good, you're still alive. There's a passage in the Bible from the prophet Ezekiel. If you write me, I'll tell you right where it is. You don't need to know. But 3 angelic-like beings are called before God. Actually, it's more than 3. There are several. And anyway, there's one who has a writer's inkhorn, which means an implement that can use ink to write. And he tells that one to go among all the people of God and to mark the foreheads of everyone who is going through what you just described, who's groaning, lamenting, grieving for the abominations that are being done in the earth, even among God's people. And he tells this one, mark their foreheads with a T. And in Hebrew and in Greek, that letter T is called tau. It's called the tau cross. It looks like a T. And then he tells the others, who seem to be angels, to go among all the people of God and remove everyone who doesn't have that T in their forehead. Remember, it's the people that are crying and grieving and lamenting over all the hurt, all the harm, all the abomination. God marks them and protects them, and all the others are removed. And he said, start with the elders in front of my altar. So I mean, the heaviest burden is for those who claim to represent God to the people and the people to God. This same image was carried over into the book of Revelation, where there's a mark given to those whose hearts are united to God before a whole bunch of darkness is unleashed at the end of this age on the earth. So I'd guess from that, you probably have that mark in your heart and your forehead. And that's a good thing. That's not an easy thing. St. Francis of Assisi meditated on that so much, cared with such deep compassion for humanity, that on his ragged, brown Franciscan habit, he drew with chalk a giant T cross. And this was his symbol. He drew that everywhere he went, in any cell or cave, anywhere he went, he would draw that T, harping back to the importance of interceding and praying and doing whatever we can do, as you said, to help. And he was a great saint, recognized not just by the Christian religion, but by a number of other spiritual traditions, recognized his holiness, saintliness. So, world events now are horrific. And we touched on that in the teaching from Sunday a little bit. And I mentioned that one of the people that I mentor spiritually listened to a talk, a message from Marianne Williamson, the one who wrote that famous quote, "We're not afraid of failing. We're not afraid of our darkness and imperfection. We're afraid of our light." And that does a service to no one. Let your light shine. That's often attributed to someone else, but it really was Marianne Williamson. And about the situation happening right now on the planet, and there's so many grievous ones, I think in this particular call to action, she was addressing the situation in Iran, where so many people have lost their lives, speaking up with passive resistance. And she said, we are at a time where What is called for is prayer without ceasing. So, and she said, in addition to praying without ceasing, fasting. There are some strongholds of darkness that are so powerful, that have such a grip on people, that the only way they're broken is through fasting. Why fasting? Well, God graces fasting if it's done right, and you do it like the way it's described in Isaiah 58, pours out great spiritual blessing and anointing of the Spirit. But a simpler way to look at it is that when you fast, whether it's for a day or 3 days or longer, and just drink water, maybe some lime or lemon juice, that you are saying no to the demands, the appetites, the instincts of the body. Because the body wants to eat. The body wants to do its own thing. And you're saying, your spirit is stepping in and saying, stop. For just a while, stop. Well, your mind gets involved then and goes, I don't want to do this. I'm not enjoying this at all. But it depends on the person. But immediately, your spirit is exercising dominion over your mind and your body. And your prayers gain great strength if you do that. So Christ, in speaking of a situation where his own apostles, whom he'd given great power in prayer and for healing, couldn't help this one particular person who was so gripped by darkness. And Jesus told them, this kind of situation can only be broken through prayer and fasting. So fasting is a great tool, and I was kind of surprised to hear that Marianne Williamson was calling for a mass ongoing, not just a prayer meeting. Not just we meet together online and we pray and send blessing. That's all powerful and good, but unceasing prayer, which is something that can be cultivated every time, in every moment that you notice that you've forgotten to connect with the divine. Just reconnect. You just call on the name, hey God, or hey light, or just divine, or whatever is familiar for you. And you don't even have to say it out loud. You just turn your heart in that moment to invoke the presence. And you can do that while you're balancing a checkbook, while you're driving a car, while you're having an argument with someone. In fact, that's a good thing to do when you're having an argument, because God will take the wind out of your argumentative sails. But to cultivate a sort of constant connection with the divine, and add to that an intention that you are holding. An end to the bloodshed in the Middle East, end to the bloodshed in Eastern Europe, end to the bloodshed in Iran, end to the bloodshed in Africa, end to the bloodshed in the inner cities that's been happening right here in the USA, and it's happening all over the world. Some of these get the headlines. But to hold that intention, asking God to intervene, to dissolve the fear that grips the human heart throughout the world. There are over 8 billion of us, and many of us, our hearts are filled with fear. And when our hearts are filled with fear, that tends to give rise to judgment and anger. And judgment and anger give rise to violence. Sooner or later, conflict. So we take an intent that the divine will flood and wash the hearts of all humanity from fear and anger and violence, and pour into the hearts of all people, because God's already in the center of every human heart. And that's the reason of the flowering heart blessing, is to release that spark so it fills the heart, the mind, and the body. And in the meantime, we can pray together and hold the intention and send blessing that the human hearts, all 8+ billion of them, will be filled with peace and love and melt away the fear, the anger, and the hatred. And once you've taken that intention, every time you invoke the presence, you can remind yourself of that, and to remind God, too, of that intention that you're holding. Pray without ceasing. So that's other than that, I commend you. Those first two words, when I read, I'm struggling, I went, well, bravo, because I know people that have told me they don't see it. All they see is light and love because God is everywhere. Everything is in God and made of God, so they refuse to see the darkness. Evidently, God sees it and tells us actively to resist it. The message 2 months ago in our communion service was being content in the midst of every situation. That's the letting go, the relaxing, the being at peace no matter what's going on. And it was balanced by this last message about resisting. So there's letting go, and we need to resist the darkness that's unfolding on the planet right now. And you're right, there's only so much we can do. But if we all do the little we can do, it all adds up. It becomes a tidal wave. Wars have ended. I mean, besides Gandhi, I mentioned in India, I remember back during the Vietnam War, there was a peace movement where jillions of people stood up for peace. And I think, and most of us feel in retrospect, that had a huge part to play in bringing the Vietnam War to an end. And it could have a huge part to play today. True movement of prayer for peace. All those Buddhist monks that are trekking across the coldest parts of America right now on their way from Texas to Washington, D.C. on foot is a march for peace. This goes way back. Thich Nhat Hanh was a great Zen master from Vietnam. He walked for peace constantly and taught walking as a meditation and a way to bring peace. And he was a great outspoken voice about ending the violence and ending war. And he was cast out of his own country for over 30 years. I think it was 32 years. Eventually he was able to go back decades afterwards, but it was walking for peace, calling for peace, praying for peace. And it made a huge difference. Okay, I guess I've said enough because Danielle just put two bowing hands and a heart. Yeah. And Veronica Om Suarez says, embrace you here. Well, we embrace you here. Thank you. Any other questions? Anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I would have commented on the prayer, but yeah, you hit it.
I'm surprised you're not throwing in a good read.
What?
Peace Pilgrim.
Oh.
Peace Pilgrim, we've talked about her a bunch in the past, but she began to walk for peace in, was it 1954, I think? She was so concerned with the Cold War and that we were poised on the edge of nuclear annihilation. She went through a tremendous spiritual awakening. And she gave up her name and her possessions and her lifestyle, and she put on a tunic that had written across it, Peace Pilgrim. And she walked over 20,000 miles for peace in the United States, up until she made her transition out of this life in 1982. Many, many years, and touched countless thousands of people's lives, maybe millions. And that book is given away for free. You can download it instantly, or you can ask them to send you a paperback copy, and they'll send it for free. If you go to peacepilgrim.com, .org, peacepilgrim.org, and we really encourage people to leave some donation, because they've been, for decades now, since Peace Pilgrim's passing, sending out these books. But Peace Pilgrim gives some very insightful instructions and suggestions for how we can pray, how we can raise dialogue in groups or one-on-one with people about the importance of peace. and actions, positive actions that we can take that will impact the world. So please, if you want some inspiration and some comfort, because Peace Pilgrim will tell you right away and again, why are people so crazy? Why are they doing these dumb things? Why are people choosing darkness instead of light and violence instead of peace? Her answer is always the same. Immaturity. She said, humanity is immature. When we mature spiritually, all of this will be obvious. But the human race as a species is so spiritually immature that people just don't see the bigger picture. And I love that approach because we tend to judge, oh, they're dark, they're violent, they're judgmental. And she'd say,
lower consciousness.
They're lower
vibration.
conscious, yes. And she'd say, oh, my heart breaks with compassion for them because they're just so immature, they don't see what they're doing. So there you go, peacepilgrim.org.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, just having this conversation after communion yesterday with a member of the community, and anytime I hear disturbing news, which is frequently now, there's an element of it. It's very sad and disturbing, but there's also an element of feeling completely powerless and out of control. You know, and like the world is just falling apart and there's nothing that I can do about it. But as we deepen in our prayer life and we deepen in our connection with the divine presence, our prayers have more weight because they're more focused, they're more intent, they're more filled with emotion and love and compassion, that it actually has a bigger impact than somebody who's going, oh God, please help me, you know. But if you keep deepening your prayer life and your connection with the divine, you start to feel that your prayers are making a difference. I can even sometimes feel all the other millions of people sending out the same prayers in the collective. So it's the only thing really that I know how to do right now in this crazy world. And it gives me comfort and calm because I know I'm being part of the solution, not part of the problem. And not feeling helpless and not feeling fearful or in crisis or just staying in touch with all the negative details of the news. Just knowing that the world needs a lot of prayer.
So if any of us are looking for our purpose in life, like we started out, be fully present here and be a force for love, for peace, for presence. And find others who also embrace love and peace and presence and bring your blessings together. They're more powerful when we join together. The power of agreement. Well, okay.
Any more comments?
Nope. Well, Danielle said, haha, no, I really do appreciate it when I was talking about making light of struggling, you know, but not really.
Yeah.
I think that's what you meant.
Yeah.
And Veronica Suarez went, lovely sharing.
Nice.
And thank you for sharing with us. It's phenomenal how many people watch these videos after we make them. It's great that you're here live. Incidentally, I noticed some people, I don't know about any of you, but sometimes people come in during the first 10 minutes when we're playing the music and just being in silence, and they'll leave and come back 10 minutes later, start surfing around on other websites. There's a reason that we spend the first 10 minutes in silence, holding space in the presence, and joining us and joining your presence and your intention with us while we're doing that actually is a very powerful thing. So I just wanted to. Oh, and leave us a like or a love, whether it's whether you're with us when we're doing this live or you watch this in the week after or whenever. Go, if you're on Facebook Live, give us a heart or a thumbs up or another emoji that expresses your feelings. If you're on Vimeo, you have to enter your name in the chat and just say, hi, it's me. We go in at the end and pull up the names of people who do that and send you special hugs and blessings. And I watch in the days after, especially over the next week, because often hundreds of people will tune in between one Monday and the next to watch these because they're scheduled or whatever. And Yekaterina just added, I am grateful that I know what my purpose is. Yep, your purpose is to be Yekaterina and shine the light.
And you do it well.
You certainly do. Well, okay then. Go ahead and close your eyes and begin to invoke the presence. As we've mentioned before, the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. The fullness of the divine presence dwells within you. The whole universe is inside of you. When you look outside and think the world's out there, you're just looking in a mirror, reflecting the inner world. And this divine presence who dwells in you at the center of your being loves you personally, unconditionally, exactly as you are, with all of your quirks and all of your faults. The divine's love is unconditional. No strings attached. So open to receive. The light, the life, the love that is pouring out to you from the center of your being. It's also pouring down from above. It's also flooding you from every direction. But your most immediate connection is God within. This divine presence within you is all powerful, all knowing, all wise, and it knows exactly what you need right now and has the wisdom and the power to transmit it, to get it across to you. So in this time, just let go and let God. Drink in the living waters. Drink in the light that's pouring out. Breathe it in. Receive it, knowing that the divine knows what you need better than you do. Just receive, because it yearns to free you from suffering, from the illusion of division and duality, a veil in the mind. One shot of light from the divine can dissolve that veil and open you to see the truth, that we are one with the divine, one with each other, and one with all that is. Receive that light shining out through your mind to clear your emotions, your thoughts, and your programs. Replace them with divine inspiration. Receive that light shining out through your body to heal you of all disease. The divine is the great healer, and nothing is impossible. Receive the healing grace of the presence. Let it flood your relationships, flood your work life, flood your whole human life in this world, and shine out to all who come into your presence. It's contagious, you know, to catalyze the transformation in them. Just relax. You don't need to ask for anything right now, just receive. Now, visualize us sitting in a circle together, a blessing circle, and keep your eyes closed, but lift up your hands with your palms open, facing forward. We now invite the Divine to pour the flowering heart blessing through everyone in the circle. We invite it to flow through you to all the others in the circle, and through all of them to you. As it flows through you to the others in the circle, it transforms you. We agree together for the awakening and the flowering of the heart for every person in the circle, including those who may have joined us at a later date, because the Spirit is always now. Let us visualize the translucent blue pearl, planet Earth, in the middle of our circle. Earth is alive. Earth is conscious. Let us hold a strong intention for the Divine to flood the Earth with healing, to heal all levels of the Earth, from the electromagnetic field that is so polluted with so many human transmissions, to heal the atmosphere, to heal the oceans and the waters, to heal the plants and the animals. And now, 8 billion plus human hearts. You might imagine it as 8 billion little points of light all over the planet Earth in front of you. We take a strong intention together. We ask the Divine to flood every heart, to cause the light to grow within all human hearts, to dissolve fear, delusion, anger, hatred, to flood the human hearts with peace and love and light. We ask the Divine Presence to extinguish the fire of war on earth, to bring healing and peace, to fill the earth and all of the humans on this planet with the light of divine love and life. May we be melted together into one family. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now you could relax and rest your hands in your lap, open your eyes, And begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me. Just keep looking, gazing at least one of our eyes as we begin the light meditation. This meditation is with eyes wide open. When we do this, Suzanne and I are flooded with oceans of light and love and grace for you from the divine. It floods through every pore of our being, especially through our eyes, which have been called the windows of the soul. As you just keep looking, no need to ask, no need to do anything. Just keep looking and receive. The light streams out through our eyes, in through your eyes, into your heart of hearts, causing the light of awakening, the fires of divine love to grow brighter and brighter within you. Just keep looking and relax and receive. You can close your eyes. Meditate with us for a few more minutes as the grace settles within. Now keep meditating as long as you like, or lie down in Shavasana. You could find a comfortable place nearby to lie on your back, with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides with your palms turned upward, and just dissolve with gratitude in the presence. We love you very much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
Until we meet again, know that we see the divine within you, and we bow to you. Namaste.